They're often racing, and in a way the same words can be used to allude to the creators of this sophisticated but absorbing toy which graces one of Perth's better-known fun parlours. For in fact the fun machine trade is looking decidedly healthy of late. Few people outside the industry are fully aware of just how healthy. A trip around our fun parlours now, in the middle of the May school holidays, will explain why. Pinball machines have become a way of life in Australia. Like so many other things, they've been imported from America. In the years which have followed the last war, there'd hardly be a town or city in Australia that hasn't acquired an amusement machine of one type or the other. Across the nation, it's now a $50 million industry, and WA boasts one of the biggest operators. Leisure and allied industries began in Perth in 1958. Over 18 years, it's built its Palmerston Street operation into the third biggest out of hundreds of similar operations in Australia, certainly the biggest in this state. The principal of the company, Malcolm Steinberg.
Several years ago, these amusement machines were utilised mainly by teenagers. That concept is changing. It's used more now by the family as a unit. So I would say that the percentage of the population that use amusement machines from time to time has gone up considerably. It could be as high as 20-25% now, I believe.
How many machines would there be here in Perth?
My estimate there would be probably in the vicinity of 3,000 machines.
How much, for instance, would the average young person spend on these machines a week?
There again, there's no recorded statistical information available, but I would say that a person who was really enthusiastic about amusement machines might spend as high as $5 in a week.
Malcolm Steinberg says the invention of the electronic machine has been a boost. TV monitoring type devices, the simulating machines which turn the armchair sportsman into an ace racing car driver or a deadly white hunter, has become a boon in hotels. Steinberg believes he's only scratched the surface of the market. They're hoping to penetrate cinemas, theatres and supermarkets before the year's out, and accordingly are conducting a big advertising campaign. But for the moment, the younger children are providing more than satisfactory patronage. But one still can't help feeling that although in a slightly different setting, these machines still aren't terribly different from the original concept. There's the usual bank of machines with flashing lights and crescendo noise, the usual cliché names, Skyfighter, Commando, Gunfighter, Speedway, and of course, the inevitable jukebox. The question which surely begs to be asked is just how constructive are Malcolm Steinberg and his colleagues in moulding young minds?
I think you've got to classify amusement machines into the same category as movies and other forms of entertainment. We don't claim to have any overbearing cultural worth for our products, but they do provide harmless recreation for a modest consideration.
I reckon it's a good recreation area, keeps them off the streets.
We believe that there's a place in our society for this. Just how much time one person spends on entertaining themselves playing amusement machines is up to them. But I certainly don't believe that they're played excessively.
Do you think it really improves their minds?
No, not necessarily pinball machines, but I reckon there should be a lot more activity for the young kids.
Well, I don't agree that there are any bad social aspects of amusement machines. I think that our industry has a function to perform within the leisure industry as a whole, and I think it performs that function. I'm not aware of any bad aspects.
Do you yourself encourage your children to use them?
Yes, certainly my children are quite expert players.
Could I put the question to you again? Couldn't a youth or a young woman stand to gain more if they were encouraged to devote the hours that they spend on the amusement machines to perhaps more character and mind-forming pursuits, perhaps sport, perhaps culture, perhaps education?
Well, I think that assumes that a person would be spending an excessive amount of time playing amusement machines. I'm not aware that that situation exists, and if it did, well then perhaps there would be some merit encouraging them to utilise their time in other directions as well.
I think some of them are a big take.
A big take in what way?
Oh, as far as the children, wanting the money for the parents all the time and coming down and, more or less not getting anything out of it.
Isn't there something else for them to do?
Well, I suppose so, but
Do you think that the machines are harmful to the kids, or are they just good fun?
I think it's good